Hey, everybody, listen. The diva's back. I'm back. I was gone for a little bit. I'm back. And listen, what's so crazy is while I was gone, so much happened, okay? Combat veteran, I'm glad you see you're in the building. Oh, and listen, you're in the middle of a hurricane, so I will be going to be cut off shortly. Praying for all of those out there that are being impacted by this hurricane. I'm praying for all of y'all. I thought it was going to be a concern with me coming back home from Texas, but my flight was uneventful. Made it back. I'm glad to be here. So happy Wednesday, everybody. Now, while I was gone, so much was happening. Listen, a lot happened when I went to Vegas, and then a lot happened when I went to San Antonio, Texas. But I'm back. I'm back. And we're going to do a quick little catch up now that I'm back. And then, tomorrow we'll be rolling right back into trending topics because we have so much to talk about. I mean, while I was going, I was like, well, the news just keep boom, 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 boom. Okay? Jaguar done said something about Jay-Z and Beyonce on Piers Morgan. They got the lawyers at the Jaguar, I'm not going to say that, at the Piers Morgan and told him to take that part out. Because Jaguar called Jay-Z and Beyonce that nasty little couple. It's messy. It's messy. It's a lot going on in these streets, and we're going to talk about it. Now, tonight on the docket is, I didn't even give it a title, but let me see what title, I don't even know what title I should call this thing. I'll just use the word messy right now since I didn't even give it a title because this whole thing is just messy. It's very messy. And listen, whether you like Diddy, don't like Diddy, feel that Diddy is guilty, feel that Diddy is innocent, feel that there's something in between, I will see this. Yes, I will definitely keep North Carolina in my prayers also. Western North Carolina in prayers. We were hit hard from the hurricane. Yes, I'm keeping all of y'all in my prayers because I know it's a lot going on. And so many people were devastated. There's lives that have been lost. Some people lost pets. I know there's some food, water, gas, all of that. So definitely in the prayers. And thank you for being here. Listen. I love y'all for hanging in there with me and always coming back to support me and my channel. Now, over here, I like to try to analyze things and keep it neutral. I do believe innocent until proven guilty, right? Because at any given day, it could be me. It could be me. That somebody's trying to railroad and it's like, hold on, give me a chance. Let me go through the process. And if the process at the end, they say that I'm guilty, then we let's roll with that. So wait, Wayne said Tampa is rocking and rolling over here in Tampa, and the best is yet to come around 4 a.m. But I'm good. Glad to hear that all is well, Wayne. Right? Yes, this hurricane is wreaking havoc. Okay, wreaking havoc. So prayers out to everyone that is, impacted by the hurricane. So over here, I like to really analyze things. I try to listen. I ain't the smartest person in the world. It's just my opinion when I'm doing these things, right? And me breaking the things down. So, Diddy is going for another bail. Yes, he is. He's going for bail for the third time. It's kind of a little unprecedented. Well, between him and Keefy D, because Keefy D keep asking the courts to set him free also. And every time he come back to the courtroom, they be like, no, go back in the jail cell and we'll see you when it comes time for your trial. So Diddy lawyers, they're working hard. And he got some pit bulls in his corner right now. And they're really working hard. They're working to get him out on bail for the third time. In addition to that, they want a speedy trial. They don't want to hold this thing off to 2026. They want to have this trial around April, I think March. They filed as a joint paperwork today. They filed to have this trial March, April of 2025. So God, we ain't even going to catch no Diddy break, y'all, because they want to have this trial March, April of 2025. And he's fighting back tooth and nail. And listen, if you are a defendant in any case, listen, it's your right. Fight back. I'm not mad at him. Fight back. So he's fighting back, and they're also accusing the government of some seedy things. Now, this I do believe. They're accusing the government of leaking that Cassie tape to CNN. It's believable to me because it's weird that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the tape gets leaked and CNN gets it, right? So they're accusing the government of leaking that tape to CNN, and they want the government to prove who did he witness tamper, because they blocked his bail. They blocked his bail, saying that he tampered with witnesses. So they want them now to prove what witness did he tamper with. So this is going to be over the show. It's going to be the trial of the century. I think, a lot of people was tuned in, and I want to say in federal court, there are no cameras, but we will definitely probably hear the highlights daily. But a lot of people was tuned in for that O.J. Simpson trial. I think this Diddy trial is going to be something very, very similar. Now, I told y'all in the beginning my thoughts, right? I had told y'all that I didn't think any rest wasn't going to come to September of 2024, and that's when it happened. I also told y'all that they didn't have enough evidence, and that's what was taking so long, because people were lying. People wanted to rewrite history, and the way they was rewriting it, they was the innocent person in all of this Diddy stuff. They were innocent. Or when I was there, I didn't really see nothing happen. I left before the after party. But yet, you got a lot of them that what they're not going to be able to do is they're not going to be able to take back the words they were saying on these different YouTube podcasts, talking about, oh, everybody knew at the Diddy party, you didn't drink that alcohol over here, you drank the alcohol over there because the alcohol over there was spiked. How you going to walk that back? You can't walk back when you got a videotape out here on YouTube of you telling all the business like you knew it. Yeah, and listen, I hear you, Magical Mermaid. Listen, everybody's going to get dragged into this nonsense. Everybody. You just better buckle your seatbelt. If you knew Diddy and C was messed up for these individuals, some of them innocently found themselves at a party, and now they're going to find themselves having to maybe answer to what they did or did not see when they was at said party. It's messy. And then, when all of the lawsuits started coming out after Cassie, Diddy's team kept saying it's some money grab. Well, you got this Thalia Graves, and I'll get to her in a minute. Let me back up, because Diddy mama, while I was away, she came out defending her son. She put a statement out. And they also said that, Diddy mama and the twins, they went to visit Diddy. And it was a very emotional family reunion. And now just recently, a few minutes ago, they came out and said that Diddy, in his attempt to get bail again, they're accusing the government of leaking the Cassie tape. This is going to be a beat down, bloodied a fight. The government's fighting to prove what they want to prove, and Diddy is fighting back. Listen, if he does go down, because I don't know how to call this one yet. I'm still trying to figure this thing out. I don't know how to call it yet. But I told y'all, when I figure something out of my head, I'm gonna let y'all know my thoughts. I'm still trying to figure it out. But I have figured out. Those individuals that are playing games, they muddying the waters and they're helping Diddy's case. They are. Now that part I did figure that out. They are muddying the waters. This Thalia Graves. I told y'all, if y'all go back to my video, I told y'all when we listened to the press conference with her lawyer, Gloria Allred, I told y'all Gloria Allred needs to give it up and retire because that press conference was a whole hot mess. I told y'all Sun in the Water wasn't clean. You know, people want to go so quick. Don't victim shame. Don't victim shame. No. It's not about victim shaming. It's about what your eyes is seeing and you using your brain. And then when I heard that she was willing to give, the bodyguard a pass because she just wanted to get Diddy, I said, where they do that at? Where did they do that at? I said, who does that? You claiming you couldn't sleep at night, some parts of your body still hurts. You were claiming all of that stuff. And Gloria was in the press conference. She didn't see the video. She don't know about the video. She don't watch this. She don't watch that. But Thalia's ex-boyfriend allegedly saw the video. And now he talking about she offered me $3 million to collaborate her story. See, the foolery of a Thalia Graves is what's going to muddy the waters. Because they're going to say, you know what, if I was his lawyer, I would say, just like this chick right here is as full as a bunch of lies, so are these other ones. The truth should have been enough. But you wanted to put 20 on 10 in the truth and use a big dummy by putting it in a message because he showed the messages. And then you got Big Joe, who got some evidence too, saying Thalia is playing games. Did she think this is a joke? She filed court paperwork with her lawyer. She think this is a joke? She gonna mess around and she gonna find out. She gonna mess around and find out. But in her playing these games, she's muddying the waters. And she wanted to get Diddy, but now indirectly she's helping Diddy. What a big dummy. And she got Gloria Allred, who's in her 80s, after she had this stellar career, looking like a whole fool. And Gloria Allred is talking about, well, people want to discount the accusers. This is, if you said Diddy was trying to do something to discount her, we can roll with that. But it's her ex-boyfriend and the other man she accused. Miss me with the nonsense. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about Gene Deal. What's the deal with Gene Deal? Gene Deal for months on the Art of Dialogue and wherever else he spoke, his own channel and all that. When he told the Usher story, he told it like it was first-hand knowledge. And I said here on my channel too. I said, if he knew that a minor, because Usher was a minor at the time, a minor was violated at the hands of Diddy, why didn't he go say something? All the bodyguards that we know of, and not because I'm psychic, because they said it out their own mouth on the YouTube, Roger Bonds, Gene Deal, what happened, what they didn't let happen, and how nothing happened under their watch. Between Roger Bonds and Gene Deal, Roger Bonds and Gene Deal, they at least was with Diddy, between the two of them, about 10 years, a decade. Between the two of them, I'm going to do the low end. I'm going to give Gene Dale 5 years with Diddy, and I give Roger Bonds 5 years with Diddy. But Roger Bonds, I know he said it was longer, but let's just do 5 for right now. So the 5 years they worked with Diddy, they didn't see nothing, they didn't hear nothing, they didn't know nothing. Because when Diddy was with them, he was on his best behavior and they barely saw anything. Does that make sense to you? That makes sense? They barely saw anything. And now Gene Deal's walking it back. He's not, now he don't know the Usher story for a fact. Is what he heard from somebody else. Hold on, wait a minute. You've been telling us for months that you knew this story and that you knew that Usher mom got paid to be quiet. But now he's saying that he heard the story from some Harlem executives. So let's forget about whether Gene Deal's telling the truth or not. Do you see how this muddies the waters? Now everybody don't know nothing is what they might have heard or didn't hear, but they heard it from a third party. But when somebody gave you a mic and you were sitting on their podcast, you knew it for a fact. You better ask Keefe D. Keefe D behind bars now because he wanted to tell stories and get paid, and now he wrote a check that his butt can't cash. Now he's talking about it was all a kiki and a ha-ha. No. When you talking about illegal activities, it's no kiki and ha-ha. Do you know this for a fact? Why are you running your mouth off of something you didn't see with your own eyes? Anything, I'd be like, you better go ask so-and-so. I don't know. I do not know. But I don't know, maybe I don't know. I don't know. So now he walking it back. He got the train in reverse. Somebody told him now what he was saying 7 months ago that he knew. And a lot of these celebrities, they are getting pissed that other people are telling their story. If Diva got violated by somebody, and Diva don't want to tell about her violation, you have no right to get on nobody's podcast and tell how Diva was violated. It's not your business. H. Fisher, I don't know if that's true or false, but I will say this though. You know, greed, it don't pay to be greedy. American greed will never pay. And that's why if y'all follow me enough, y'all know I say ain't nothing wrong. It's honorable living in your studio apartment if you paying for your rent with money that you earn in a righteous way. I told y'all, and it is no lie. It is no lie. My living room in my townhouse was empty for years. I have a couch. No, when people came over, we sat on my living room floor. It was clean, but I ain't have no couch. I got one now, but it took a minute. Is nothing wrong with not having money. Is nothing wrong with not having a Louis bag, a Gucci bag, a Dior bag, which all of those are in the thousands. It's okay if your outfit came from Target or Walmart. And it's okay if your outfit came from Louis or Coach or Gucci. But wherever you got it from, you should be able to pay for it with some honorable money. The minute you got to steal, lie, and cheat, so you can put a name brand on your back, then you running down the wrong path. Yes, you are. Come on, Carolyn. Let me tell my own story. Don't be telling my story. If I want to tell it, then I get to tell it. You shouldn't be telling it for me. Yeah, they need to crawl before they can walk is the old saying. You better tell it, Paula. But see, yeah, listen, let me tell you something. But everybody wants to, everybody feeds into that fake it till you make it. And that fake it till you make it will have you down the wrong path every single time. Yeah, well. And I think it's hard for individuals now because just because you attended a Diddy party does not mean that you did Diddy things. It does not. But people are now finding that just if they got a picture with Diddy, they got to explain themselves. You do not. If you know that you didn't do no crazy stuff at a Diddy party, then it's all good. You know who's a mess too, but we got to talk about another day because it's too much stuff. I can't talk about it all in one trending topics. That Tony Busby. People are paying people that didn't even sue them yet because they're being accused of something. This is crazy. People are trying to buy the tapes of them because they don't want the tapes to be spread out. Let me tell you this. This is my opinion. And if anybody out there was in an FO party and they was a celebrity, I would not buy the tape. I wouldn't. Diddy bought the tape of him beating Cassie at the hotel, and the tape still came out. The tape still came out. So Diddy allegedly, right, bought the tape of him beating Cassie at the hotel, and the tape still existed in other people's hands, and it still came out. You are wasting your money. If you are a celebrity and someone is trying to extort you and say, I got this tape with you and Diddy, release it. That's what I would say. Release it. Release it. If you got a tape and it's just me and Diddy and I'm a male and I'm sleeping with Diddy and I didn't do nothing to nobody else, release the tape. I'm not paying you a dime. You're not going to get $50,000 from me, $100,000, millions of dollars. Release the tape. They also said that Diddy allegedly paid an S worker $6 million to shut his mouth. If I was Diddy at this point, because it's a lot of stuff is overwhelming, the amount of stuff that is coming out, I would tell that S worker, go tell your story. I would deal with it. I would deal with it. You're not getting $1 million from me, $6 million, $7 million, 100,000, 10,000. Go tell your story. And let me deal with that. But there ain't nowhere on this earth I'm going to pay you and then few years later it's going to come out anyway. No, I'm going to be mad I wasted my money. Go tell your story. Release yourself. Free yourself. And then you know what you do? You as a celebrity, do your own press conference. Yeah, I slept with Diddy, whatever. I don't care if you a male that slept with Diddy. If you come out and say, listen, I slept with Diddy. It is what it is. People want to act like, my issue here is not the same sex relationships. It's not. My only issue here is if something criminal went on, then people need to pay the price. But if it's simple as I slept with Diddy and I'm a male and he's a male, whatever, I will let the public, let it come out. But you ain't about to get my hard-earned dollars. We ain't doing that. No, we are not. So a lot of people are being shamed, threatened. They're feeling some type of way. They don't want anybody to know. I say release the shame. If the only thing you did, you was a male that slept with a male, let it go. Don't let nobody extort you. Don't let them come for you. Don't let them blackmail you. Now, it's a whole nother level if you did something sinister to somebody. That's different. But if they just want to release a tape, let it go. Because you see already the evidence. Diddy allegedly bought the tape from the hotel. And what happened? We saw it on CNN. So you really think a person that has a tape or you were doing whatever, they going to sell it to you and they not going to keep a copy? Don't be that foolish. And listen, there was a lawyer. That lawyer, she's another one. I can't deal with her right now. That lawyer, what's her name? Ariel Mitchell Kidd. She claims she already knows who the other celebrity is in one of these videos they trying to shop. So that means she already know. And I'm sure she already told somebody else that she knows. She told her best friend, and her best friend told somebody else. Let the video come out. That's what I would do. I wouldn't care. I let it come out, because eventually, you know what happens with all of these stories? The stories are big today, and then eventually they go away and something else pops up and people forget about it. And the proof of the point, yeah, that lawyer that says he has 120 victims, where's the lawsuits? Where's the lawsuits? He said he got 120 victims. You a law firm that's taking 12,000 calls in one day. You got 100 workers. Do you not have a couple of people that can write up these lawsuits and you put them out already? He's another one. He's full of it to me. And you know what, H. Fisher, they saying so much rumors now. Just bring it out. Bring it out. Because I'm sick of it. I'm over it. The attorneys are winning off of the foolery. But listen, I done talked enough. Y'all know I haven't been here, but I'm back. And I want to make this a quick trending topics. I want to try to have an express train. But I'm going to go ahead and load this train up and bring the people in the building because we got stuff to talk about. And I didn't title it, but I guess I'll title it Messy, okay? So listen, it's Wednesday night. It's trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. Y'all know what I need in the chat. I appreciate you, Nate. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is trending topics on a Wednesday, and we got stuff to talk about. I'm calling it messy. Diddy's family reunion, okay? Mama Combs and the twins went to see Diddy. All right, we're going to talk about Thalia Graves, who her boyfriend claims that he got a text from her saying, will $3 million do it? How you going to promise somebody $3 million? You didn't even know if you're going to get you $5 yet. What a hot mess. And then we got Gene Deal walking it back. First, he knew the Usher story for fact. Now he's saying that he heard from somebody who said somebody who did somebody, and they said that Usher, and that happened to Usher. Messy. Let me bring the people on in the building. Hey, Katrina.
Hey, Diva. Hey, Chat. Happy Hump Day.
Happy Hump Day. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Diva.
I'm glad all is well out there in Florida so far. Yeah.
We just lost power.
Oh, y'all did?
Just now, about 2 minutes ago.
Do you have a generator?
Yeah, I got a brand new one in the box in storage.
Wait, I'm gonna beat you. Not in the storage, in the box. I cannot.
In the storage, brand new. And I had it from the last, back in when we had a whole bunch of hurricanes come through, but it never affected, us. So I still got it in the box.
I'm yes, come on, Nate. Shaking my head. I cannot wait. You should have had that thing in your house ready to go. I'm thinking, I can't remember what storm had hit Jersey real bad that time. I don't know, was it Sandy?
Sandy.
Burl? Was it Burl?
It was Superstorm Sandy.
Superstorm Sandy. And I personally didn't have a generator, but where I was living at the time, our neighbors had a generator, and they were so nice to share their generator with us, so that we was able to keep our refrigerator running, and we was able to charge up the phones a little bit. But yeah, they had a generator that they shared with us. But I'm gonna beat you because you should have had your generator there with you. But I'm glad
I'm gonna sell it because I ain't used it.
You may have to go there and get it and use it though.
Well, we'll see how long, because I've never been without electricity more than an hour, a couple hours, if it's been that. But yeah. I heard that they was going to actually may interrupt this, turn the electricity off and, then put it back on. So I don't know if it's down because
if it's doing
they try to control it.
They're trying to control it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, y'all, let me go ahead and get into this first story. And so it's so much going on with Diddy. His mother came out and made a statement. The mom and the twins went to see him, and then his people put out, like, it's a 31-page document where they're accusing the government of releasing that Cassie tape to kind of muddy the waters, and they released it. Again, if y'all remember, if you're following me long enough, I told you after they raided his house, they didn't really have nothing. So what they're doing now is they're using Cassie's lawsuit, and she's the victim, and she's kind of the catalyst to this whole, case that they have against them. So let me go ahead and share a screen. Let's go here. So Diddy's mom, twins, let me close this. Diddy mom and twins pay him a visit in the New York jail before speaking up for him. So the mom and the twins went. I feel really bad for the twins because, for them, this is dad. To the world, he's a monster, but to them, this is dad. So Diddy mother and his twin daughters visit him behind bars in Brooklyn, and the visit was so compelling for his mom. She broke her silence on her son's legal troubles. Sources close to the situation tell TMZ Diddy's mom, Janice Combs, and his teenage twin daughters, Delilah and Jessie, spent time with him last week at the Metropolitan Detention Center. We're told the 4 family members went to the visiting area. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Went to the visiting area where they were able to hug and converse under supervision by the jail staff. Our sources say the meeting was the first time Delilah and Jessie were able to see their father since his arrest last month, and they were very eager to visit him, traveling all the way from their home in California. We're told the visit was incredibly emotional. Hold on one second, I'll let E in the building. Was incredibly emotional for everyone. After seeing her son, Janice first compelled to speak out on his behalf because she felt like he was going through something he didn't deserve. As reported, Janice issued a statement Sunday saying in part, to bear witness to what seems like a public lynching of my son before he had the opportunity to prove his innocence is a pain too unbearable to put into words. Janice also said her son is not the monster they have painted him to be. Diddy, we're told, have now seen all of his adult children at the MDC Brooklyn, where he's being held as he awaits trial on charges of sex trafficking, kidnapping, and racketeering. He pled not guilty. Our sources said Diddy is happy his family all stopped by to see him, as he is very family oriented. They reached out to his reps, and they have not heard anything back as of yet. So that's just an update of his mom, and the daughters coming to see him. Also, to remember, he is fighting for bail. So I believe that he is going to go up tomorrow. And it's going to be a fight to the bitter end because his new lawyers, they're no Mark, okay? Mark was out in these streets playing games, but these new lawyers is no joke. They are not playing any games. So let me just share a screen really quickly, and we'll talk about the new filing and how they pretty much want his case to be brought up early next year. So Diddy implies feds leaked the Cassie video. Now, listen, if you didn't do it, it would be nothing to leak. But I'm kind of leaning towards this way too. I believe this is very plausible that they did leak it because they want the public to kind of lynch him before they can give him a trial. Because if you have all of this sensational stuff out there, how do you even get an impartial jury to sit and listen to this case? So shocking new claim from Diddy and his legal team. They believe the federal government orchestrated the leak of the Cassie beating video to the media. According to new legal docs obtained by TMZ, Diddy's attorney accused the feds of misconduct in his criminal case, namely by allegedly orchestrating the leak of the Cassie tape to CNN. Now listen, at the end of the day, CNN can be subpoenaed to say, where did y'all get this tape from? The video in question showed Diddy brutally beating Cassie in the hallway of a swanky Los Angeles hotel during their relationship. In the docs, Diddy is specifically blaming the Department of Homeland Security, not the U.S. Attorney's Office. Diddy's lawyers want an evidentiary hearing to craft a remedy so the judge can assess and determine appropriate relief. Diddy takes more shots at the feds in the docs, claiming the raids on his homes in Los Angeles and Miami were overly brutal, accusing federal agents of handcuffing his kids. So listen, this thing is going to be a dog-eat fight. Tomorrow, I will probably go through the 31-page updated document where they're asking for a speedy trial. They want this trial to happen in I'm gonna say March or April of 2025. A lot is going on. Let me see. What else do I have here? I think that's everything that I wanted to show. Katrina, your thoughts?
If he wouldn't have did all this stuff, it wouldn't be a tape out there. And you know, maybe the feds did release it, but then again, maybe the person that he bought the tape from, by that being in a hotel, they probably had copies. Cause when they make one copy DVD, they can make another one. But I'm not saying the feds didn't release it. I'm just saying, it'd be different cameras. He probably thought he got the only tape, and they came out with that one. Maybe they sold it to CNN. I don't know. I'm not saying the FBI didn't do it either. I'm just saying in general. And yeah, the girls. I do feel sorry for the girls. The mama, she know what her son was doing. There's no way that she didn't know. But you was living off the luxury of other people's hard work. That was all fine and good. But now your son is behind bars, and these other people could barely even buy houses and whatsoever. And y'all was living the life of luxury. Yeah, I feel sorry for the girls. Yes, I do. But Diddy put himself in this position. And like I said, it's innocent to proven guilty. But the things he wants to get out on, well, I feel like this: if Trump can be walking around, maybe Diddy can walk around too on bail. I mean, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. But then again, they got two different skin tones. Um, Shoot, I don't know what else to say. Like I said, it might be the feds, might not. It's so much stuff going around. Might been a little Rodney. You don't know who. I mean, you just don't know because so many people be inside a Diddy house. So you really don't know who released what. They really can't even prove that unless the CNN come back and say, well, this person sold it to me. But they're not going to do that either because they're going to get in trouble. So we'll see how
No,
far this.
if they get subpoenaed, you have no choice but
Yeah,
to say where.
they'll do it. But I'm just saying, but if they get subpoenaed, yeah, they have to say where they get it from or whatsoever. But that's gonna be a hard way too, Diva. But we'll see how it goes. That's all I got.
Thank you, Julius. Your thoughts?
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, hit the like button, y'all. Now, Diddy is where he is due to his own decision making, his poor decision making. Now, with the video coming out, I do believe the government was trolling and to play at the heartstrings with the people. So I do believe the government was trolling. And also basically to get under King Combs' skin, which they did perfectly. But he is, but Diddy is where he is due to his own actions. And so, and your Goldilocks only can go for so long until it runs out. And so it seems like his is on a collision course. Now, if his lawyers do their job, it may be extended. If not, so only time will tell.
Time will tell. We got probably about 24 hours because it's supposed to go down tomorrow. Your thoughts?
So, hi. What a horrible decision for those daughters to go and visit him. Poor things. I can understand why Janice went to visit. We already know she is a part of that era, which loves their sons as their sons as if their sons were their husbands, rather than hold them accountable like they are truly sons. And if Janice knew, like I knew, the way all the paperwork is set up and how the assets are all in Janice's name, if the prosecutor really wanted all the smoke, they could bring charges against Janice too. Because Sean has so many assets in her name, you would think she was the queen pin. That's a fact. A co-conspirator at the very least. But I don't like Sean. I think that goes without saying. But I must say he is correct about, an ulterior motive with the tape being leaked. And we talked about it here when it first happened. And I said it when the video came out. We all talked about it. And Felicia told us the same law firm who was representing Cassie, they were affiliated with this other firm who was representing the Jane Doe from Detroit. And the lawyer was trying to push Diddy to settle that case because Diddy was putting his foot down. That's when he came out and he said, nope, I'm not going to settle another case. I'm not sure if everybody remembers. And he said, I'm going to fight back and we're going to trial. And the law firm, the lawyers were trying to twist his arm because he was insisting that if they went to trial, Jane Doe would have to reveal her identity. And the lawyer did not want to agree to that. They just wanted him to settle. They wanted to get this thing over with. And then the next day, next thing I know, I'm condo shopping and I see Diddy stomping Cassie's Christmas lights out of the window on the flat screen in the lobby. It was a smear campaign for sure. And it was a shakedown because that happened before the raid. It was a shakedown, and although I cannot confirm it, it has been said by very reputable sources that Cassie's lawyers were referred to her by that alcohol brand who Diddy sued and won prior to. So it is a snowball effect, and I do hear, I agree. People cannot come back years later with this video footage unless you did it initially. But that still does not change the fact that this is messy. And when there is when the government has a case against someone, they usually keep it airtight as long as they know they have a winning case. Because why would you leak all of this to the press so that the defense can build up their ammunition to fight it? It's not necessarily supposed to be a surprise because you go through discovery, but still it's messy. It limits your capability of being able to get unbiased jurors to come in and listen and enter a unbiased judgment. But it's messy and it will lead one to think that you're grasping at straws. It doesn't look good. And I agree with him. They are in cahoots. It is a shakedown, and I'm just going to leave it right there. I agree with him on that part, not saying that he's right, but this is not going to pan out the way people think it is.
It's messy. It's messy, but I said from day one they didn't have an airtight case, and that they're letting their slips show, right? Because it's just too much nonsense going on. And I also said, and this part I'm 10 toes down on, there's nowhere on this earth that if they saw in any of those videos someone that was so drugged out that they wouldn't have mentioned that. They would have had more on that 14-page indictment than what they had. If they had proof that during these, first of all, I believe they slipped up because you got to listen to the words they said. This is not Diva putting 2110. They called them highly orchestrated performances. They used the word highly orchestrated performances. How can I be drugged up, drunked out, keep getting stuff plied into me, and I'm doing a highly orchestrated performance? It doesn't make sense. If they would have once saw in any of those videos that in the midst of me doing whatever in said video, then Sean Combs himself came over and said, here comes some more of this pill, that, or whatever, not only handed it to them, but darn near shoved it down their throat, they would have told us. And they would have said there was some people that appeared to be in the video that just wasn't even moving, and this XYZ was happening to it. They would have said there would have appeared that when there was in the video, people were already looked like they was passed out or have this, and then somebody looked like Sean Combs came in and was shoving more of these substances down their throat. They never told us that during one of these highly orchestrated performances, somebody seemed like they was running to the door to leave, and then they got stopped. All I'm saying is I could put 2 and 2 together. And but the thing is, when we're saying he's not an innocent man, what are we saying he's guilty of? If you got 10 people in the room having relations with each other and they want to be there, what is he guilty of? I'm going by right now the indictment, not all the stories that we're hearing that are having holes and breakdown in them. I also told y'all that people, they're going to tell their story, and when they tell the story, they're rewriting history because they want to tell the part where they're all innocent. Dawn Richard, in her own lawsuit that we read here, I'm not going back over it. You can go back to the video where we read it. Every time she told a story, she was the superhero in it. She tried to help Cassie leave. She tried to help this other young lady who was allegedly getting beat down and treated wrong leave. But then when she saw the busload of what appeared to be minors be brought into a party, she went and hid in a room. We can call them a monster. Listen, I wasn't not near FO party. But if I got to go by what is put out there so far that the government is charging him with, you got to tell me, is there a crime when you're having an orgy and everybody wants to be there? So we got to say, we need them to tell us who they saw got stuff being shoved down their throat. And then there's this rumor going on, and I'm coming to you, Tay Tay. There's this rumor going on that there was something in the baby oil. I highly doubt that they will let us know that there was this many bottles of baby oil, but wouldn't tell us what was in it. They want proof of all these substances. I believe if something was in the baby oil, they would have told us already. But I will carry on. Yvonne said, yes, I believe that he's an arrogant SOB. He's been nasty, like you said, Yvonne, to probably darn near everybody that walked in his path. We got the abuse of Cassie for a fact, but we also, if you go back to his reality shows, yeah, he was abusive and nasty to other people too. Some folks are lying because we got Thalia Graves, who we got 2 individuals. There's not just their words, they got messages of this girl saying what she wanted to do, get Diddy. Listen, and I say, and I will keep saying it, whatever he is guilty of, whatever criminal activity he is guilty of, he needs to pay. He needs to pay. But y'all got to give me some evidence and some more substance on exactly what he was guilty of. What they're doing right now, for the most part, for what I'm seeing, is they're trying to shame him about having these same-sex relations. And I don't see the crime in that. And in addition to that, they want to shame the other individuals that were having same-sex relations with him. I don't see the crime in that. And that's why I'm saying to those individuals, if you did not commit any crime, if the only thing you did was be a man that slept with Sean Combs and he's a man, then let the people release the tape and let them talk. Let them talk. But if you did something sinister, then that's a whole nother level. That's a problem there. Tay, your thoughts?
Can everybody hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. If the twins want to visit their dad, that's their decision. I ain't gonna judge because he's the only parent that they had. Their mom's gone. They had their grandma. They had their brother and sister with them. I mean, everybody knows what this man been doing since the 90s and the early 2000s and this late 2000. And so yeah, it's time for him. Lock the doors. Don't let him out. And now all these celebrities, they're afraid that he gonna black them. You know what I mean, Diva.
Mm-hmm.
Blackmail them because they keep it low pro. They're like, who's Diddy? I ain't heard this person. I don't know his name like that. That's why, Diva. They just keep their mouth shut. Like I said before, Diva, if I was a twin and the other kids, I would cut the tie the name Combs. Just go on the different last name. That's all I gotta do. I mean, I'll go love you for the decent, but you have been in my life very long time. But I gotta keep you from the decent because you are rude the name already. The name of Combs. You already destroyed it. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you. And yes, right. A lot of celebrities, they're trying to back away and act like they don't know Diddy. Well, let's just take it. He's 54, right? I keep saying, let's go back to the 50th birthday party. Anybody was in there, so they need to knock it off. And again, miss me with the nonsense. You didn't know, you left before the after party, this, that, and the other. It's the lies they tell. At 54, they was all partying and jamming with this man. And the government who came up with the term freak off is unbelievable. No, Didi, I don't think the government didn't come up with the freak off name. Diddy did. Diddy. They said Diddy called it a FO. And it was something too with the white nail polish. So it wasn't the government that came up with that name. He came up with the name freak off. Mm-hmm. But you know, his past is coming back to haunt him. But as I say this, let's put the criminal charges on the table, and if he's guilty and a jury finds him guilty, lock him up. Lock him up. But if you're trying to get me to connect and get emotional about a freak off, until you tell me the kids that was there being violated and people really being plied with these substances and they didn't want it, but you can't have a highly orchestrated performance and I'm drunk. You can't. They never said in those videos, and they got tape after tape according to them, right? They never said in that video that Diva was forced to touch, to feel, to do anything. They never said that. So what they did is they're putting out all this other stuff so people can get, they want the people to get like this because they don't want us to do no critical thinking. None. But I sat down and said to myself, hold on, how do you have a highly orchestrated performance and you said I'm drunk, high, and both? Then they wanted to get us with that. These people were so drained that at the end they got the IV, what do you call it? The IV fluid, the vitamin IV fluids. And I do believe that, right? But here's the thing though, something is not, they're all not running on the same road. If I was kept getting plied with these substances and whatever, you're going to try to tell me I never passed out in those 3-day, 4-day situations? I never passed out. I never slept. I can't, but I'm going to move on because I got to move on to the next story. So the next story is this Thalia Graves. Now, some of y'all, it might have been newbies in the thing, beat me with a stick. Diva, don't victim shame, this and that. And I do not, if y'all know me, y'all know I don't victim shame. Right? But I said, when we watched it together over here, that press conference. And I said, Gloria already need to retire. I said the press conference was a whole circus. And I said something about it don't feel right to me. 1 minute you crying, the next minute you able to stand up and hold up a document of your lawsuit. It just wasn't making sense to me. But I gave her the benefit of the doubt. And I said, if the security guard did this to her and Diddy, they wrong. And they need to pay. But then the security guard came out and showed us the DMs that Thalia sent him, talking about help me get Diddy. And I'm going to just go ahead and paraphrase. Now we got her ex-boyfriend coming out, and the ex-boyfriend, first he told the Daily Mail that he saw the video, but in the video, he only saw the bodyguard and Thalia and not Diddy. Now he coming out and saying, listen, it's some money grab. She offered me $3 million. It just don't make sense. But it's the victims like her, the alleged victims like her, that's muddy in the waters, and she wanted to get Diddy, but with these, what it appears to be lies, she's helping Diddy. So Diddy, our accuser, X claims she offered a bribe, $3 million, if you back my story. First of all, how does she know how much she would have got? So Diddy's latest accuser, who's suing him for allegedly R-ing her and recording it, tried to get her now ex-boyfriend to corroborate her claim by paying him 7 figures, according to the ex. TMZ has learned. Thalia Graves is suing Diddy and his head of security, Joseph Sherman. And Joseph Sherman said he's coming for Thalia's neck. And I'm paraphrasing, because she lied on him. And he said he lost jobs, and he got text messages where she was asking, one, are you Big Joe? Did you ever work for Puff? And can you help me just get Puff? So Joseph Sherman for allegedly armed her back in 2001. And in the suit, she said she was dating one of Diddy's employees who was shown a video of the alleged incident, right? However, TMZ has seen a November 2023 text exchange between Thalia and the man who was her boyfriend. And in it, she reveals she's planning to sue Diddy because he's the one that has the money. It also appears she offers to give the boyfriend $3 million if he agrees to back her version of the alleged events. After asking him to attest, he's seen the alleged video of the incident. The actual text reads, "What do you want? $3 million?" We actually spoke to Thalia's ex, who confirmed the validity of the text messages and told us he interpreted it as an attempted bribe. After receiving the text, he says he blocked Thalia's phone number and also blocked her on social media. What's more, we're told Diddy lawyers also have a copy of the same text we revealed between Thalia and her then boyfriend. Thalia's attorney, Gloria Allred, tells TMZ it's very common that rich, powerful men and their supporters attempt to discredit, shame, and humiliate accusers who have the courage to come forward. The complaint speaks for itself. Our client is looking forward to her day in court. You recall Allred and Graves held a news conference after filing the lawsuit, which was incredibly emotional. Thalia sobbed as she talked about the physical and mental trauma caused by the alleged R. Since the lawsuit was filed, Diddy's former security head claims he has never met Thalia Graves and was not working for Diddy at the time of the alleged assault. This is a hot, flaming mess. Katrina, your thoughts?
Okay, I am so confused, Diva, because what I'm trying to figure out, when they asked the ex-boyfriend about the tape or whatever, he said he seen her with the bodyguard, with Joe. So I'm like, so how he, okay, and then she reached out to him and asked Joe to help her get Diddy, which he also supposed to grape her as well, right? So I'm still trying to figure out, like, why are you going back to these people? If you got the tape, why do you need help from somebody else when all you got to do is show the tape? If you say this happened, you don't need him to help you get Diddy. You already got Diddy. If you said, and your boyfriend said the guy was in the tape as well. So if you got all this, why do you need help? If you got the tape, if the tape is showing that you was out of it, that you was getting grape at that point in time, why do you need help from these people to collaborate what you already said that's on the tape? You don't need their help. Like I said, this stuff is so messy, and I know. I think I don't know. I didn't tell you earlier, but it's thing on YouTube, on Facebook saying if you've been assaulted by Sean Combs to call this number. If anything happened that he calls, call this number. So it's a lot of stuff going on. But with her, like I said, if you got the tape, you shouldn't need nobody to collaborate what you already said happened to you. You got it on tape. And then your lawyer saying, like I said last time we talked about this, she said that two people was on the tape. The folks asked her, was one a celebrity? She said no. But like I said again, if you never seen this tape, how you know who's on this tape? This is a lot. This is a lot going on. And like you said, these type of lawsuits mess up the other lawsuits. And I'm not saying that this lady is lying or anything like that. The only thing I'm saying is if you got the videotape, this videotape being circled around, if you got that tape, you don't need nobody to collaborate what happened. They could see it on the video. Have people forgot that? She says it's on video. The tape is going around. It's on video. They got the tape. So if the tape is there, you don't need nobody to collaborate what you say happened to you. It will show on the tape.
Yeah, she full of crap because even in the press conference, the lawyer was like, I didn't see the tape, but if you saw the tape, give us a call. I don't watch P, so I wouldn't look at the tape. The whole thing was a circus from the beginning. She full of it.
So how
And
you gonna defend somebody? How you gonna defend your client if you're not? Even when the police officers, FBI get those tapes, they have to watch them, even though they don't want to watch them. They have to see what's on it before they make any type of decision or any arrest or any indictments. They have to watch these tapes. So I don't get it with the lawyer saying that she don't. It's a P tape, but you never seen the tape, and you saying that this person is not a celebrity, but you never watched the tape. This is crazy. I would never even came out with a press conference like that. And you sit up there crying and doing all that. I'm talking about the other lady, Thalia, whatever her name is. And no, I'm not victim shaming because she still might be a victim. But what I'm saying is, if you said that this is on the tape, you don't need nobody to collaborate. Everybody can see who's on the tape. Is Joe on that tape? You got it right there. You got the tape. So why do you need these other people to help you? That's what I can't get over.
she's
That's
mad.
all I got, Diva. It's crazy, but that's all I got.
Thank you, Julius. You're up.
Now, as an actual SA survivor, this girl ain't no survivor. This girl isn't even a victim. I said it, and I stand on it. And this is why. You want to put a price with somebody to try to take down Sean Combs. But yet, if you were so confident in your truth, why would you need reinforcements if you were so confident in your truth? That was the telltale sign for me. And the propped crybaby tears, she pulled at the heartstrings for a little bit. I'm just like, something's missing here. Sure enough, the other gentleman, he pulled out the receipts like, oh, hey, are you Big Joe? You would have known you were on his Instagram and you would have remembered him if he SA'd you, boo. Like, there's just things you don't forget. And I'm speaking as a survivor. You don't forget. And so, at first, she had me almost fooled. But when he came out with his interview, and especially now the boyfriend statements, the ex-boyfriend, excuse me, she's a fraud. And I said what I said. That's it.
Thank you, Tay. You're up.
Well, Diva, I guess I was wrong by her too. Last time we talked about her. Diva, it's just me. Do you remember what she wearing at the press con? It looked like she go to what you call the club. That's what the outfit looked like to me. I'm just saying, Diva. It looked like she go to the club with that outfit right there. Uh, let's talk about Gloria too. Yeah, Diva. It's time for Gloria retire because that press cover right there, it was a hot mess. It was a circus clown, and it's like wasting people time. Like we all was thinking, what is this? It just supposed to be the video had to tell their story about this right here, or just like put a show for us, like this right here. And that boyfriend, oh he got that ex boyfriend, oh he got received for that too, because they always say, tell the truth, tell the truth. That's your story. Tell the truth. No, it's just a hungry money grab. That's what it is right now. That's what it is right there. Because you offer your ex boyfriend that much money right there. No way, Diva. I ain't get my ex boyfriend nothing if I have him to do that for me. No, you have to stand up for yourself. A boyfriend, if you have somebody like to support you, to stand by you, and you tell your story, the true story. That's how it is right there. That's all, Diva.
Appreciate you. The true story. Thank you. Tony, you're up.
Yes, Diva. Hold on. Yes. As I said last week, Diva, I am going to pull back on my assessment of Joe Sherman. If he has the receipts that are verifiable, Thalia Graves needs to withdraw her petition. Gloria Allred needs to drop her as a client. And I would not let this go any further because this could go further in the criminal realm against Thalia Graves. So if Gloria Allred does the right thing, she will drop her and let this matter just go away. And if Joe Sherman was not employed at the time, either as an employee or as an independent contractor, at the time of the alleged incident, well, he could sue her for defamation. And again, he can even go to the local prosecutor to bring criminal charges against her.
Well,
So
now the problem is the boyfriend is now coming out saying that he has text messages. The boyfriend is coming out saying that, she offered him $3 million to corroborate her story and to pretty much lie. And now he's saying he blocked her. He doesn't want no part of it.
Again,
you got two people coming out and saying that she's a lie.
Yes. And if both men can corroborate with proof from their phone carriers, especially the ex-boyfriend, to verify or to validate the text messages, meaning the legal department of the phone carrier would verify all that legally. It's a wrap for Thalia. It's a wrap. You can't go further. And I'm hoping soon Gloria Allred will drop her as a client.
Yeah, Gloria Allred is letting her slip show right now, so time will tell. So Shirley, thank you for the super chat. She said the government not showing their evidence before the trial. Okay, so I don't even want the government to necessarily show their evidence, but But I will say this, if you're going to put something out, you should back it up, right? Why throw out to us that you collected 1,000 bottles of baby oil if they're not into showing their evidence, right? Why come out in all of this other salacious stuff that they're saying? They the one threw this on all that.
Well,
we don't know what was collected. Give me a minute, Tony. We don't know what was collected in that house versus not. They threw this in our lap. And they the one that came out and said, okay, call this number XYZ, so forth and so on. I think at best, they're being sloppy. I think at best, they do have an uphill battle. But I also think at best that they're trying to muddy the waters to make him look like a monster. If he's a monster, he's a monster. Don't throw out nothing out there, right? And I believe this, I'll go into that tomorrow, but they're not going to show us all their evidence. But I will tell you this, right? If Eric Adams, I think his indictment is 50-something plus pages, right? 50-something plus pages, the indictment against Eric Adams. And then you got Diddy, all these months, and it was 14 pages. You got to make it make sense to me. Go ahead, Tony. You wanted to say something?
Yes, it's too early, and I wanted to respond to Shirley. Mm-hmm. It's too early to present all of your evidence because the case is in what they call an early pretrial stage, meaning after the indictment, after the arraignment, after the bail hearing, the evidence is supposed to be turned over to the other side.
But Tony, let's back up for 1.2 seconds. Forget about the evidence and the discovery, right? That indictment from experts, not from Diva, from experts said that indictment should have been more pages than what it was.
Even I said on my very first live, I found it kind of odd to believe there were only 3 charges against Sean. Mm-hmm. And I do expect more to come. It's normally, especially at the federal level, never just 3 indictments, 3 criminal charges. There's always more charges. But, excuse me, over time, I do believe there will be more charges to come. There are going to be more indictments.
You know what? I hear you, and you've been saying that to me, but what I'm saying is they had more than enough time. When they finally dropped that indictment, it should have been more oomph to it. It should have been more charges. And just, because everybody's throwing, oh, Rico, Rico, Rico. Let's do the key thing in Rico. It got to be an enterprise.
Yes, it was an enterprise.
One person with Rico. It got to be an enterprise. I'm waiting to hear who the enterprise is. So what I want people to do here is, I'll let you speak again, Tony. Give me a minute. What I want people to do here is we got to use our critical thinking. They throw stuff out there just like everybody throws out there. The government never loses. All right, y'all can roll with that. I won't negate that. But what I'm telling you is, in this particular situation, the government slip is showing. With Rico, you need an enterprise. That's why if you go back, and I ain't reading it again, we read it here. If you go back, they called it the Combs Enterprise. Well, where's the enterprise, and when you going to indict these people and lock them up? Everybody wants to go with the monster that Diddy was. But just like R. Kelly, Diddy could not have sustained this level of activity alone for decades. And I want them to stop giving everybody else that was part of it a deal. Okay? Allegedly, I don't know. What's her name? I don't know. The house manager, she got a deal. The publicist that was with him for over 30 years, she allegedly got a deal. Stop giving everybody in the enterprise a deal. Rico means there was an enterprise, and I want you to lock the enterprise up with the person you're calling a monster, because they're just as monstrous as he is. If you know that people are allegedly being given substances so that they can be taken advantage of, and you are building up the package, the care package, to take over to the hotel where the FO is going to be, and these people are going to be given substances and all that, then you need to be locked up too. Like, what's her name? Ghislaine? She locked up? Come on, lock that person up too. You tried to have with Rico, and you said there's an enterprise. Don't let the enterprise get away with it. Don't let the enterprise all tell you about this one person and all of them get off scot-free and don't serve a day behind bars. I'm not having that. I think that is messy. Go ahead, Tony. Then I'm going to go to E.
I agree with you, and I don't fully agree with how the U.S. Attorney Damian Williams is handling all of this, because he is giving people within Sean Combs' employment who help co-facilitate these dangerous FO parties off the hook. And I even told you, even people at the very top within the enterprise will get immunity deals. That's what's happening right now, because they don't seem to be interested in the lesser people, even though they're just as culpable. Unfortunately, their focus is only on one individual. But I think Damian Williams is not fully going about this the correct way.
How about this? Let's call it what it is. He's messing up.
Yes.
He's messing up. You can't call Rico without the enterprise. And how you gonna give the whole enterprise a break? Now let me tell you, this new lawyer Diddy got is a pit bull. Damian better wake up and buckle his seatbelt and get ready for a fight. And if people, I'll let you talk again. Give me 1 minute, Tony. If people really want the alleged quote unquote monster Diddy locked away, well then Damian better wake up. Where's the enterprise? He's going to get his behind handed to him. See, right now, they know that they can feed certain stuff to the public and the people like, oh my God, wow. Like me, okay, you telling me so far about an orgy. Not my circus, not my monkeys. I really don't care. But what I do care about, if you tell me that at this highly orchestrated performance, people was being violated against their will, you got proof of it, and where are the minors? Y'all keep telling us there were minors. Where they at?
Oh, they're there. They're adults today, but they are there.
There you go, Tony. Because if they were there, you better be for darn sure if they had proof of it, it would have been in that indictment. Now, no, now y'all can say, oh, the government is they don't show us all their cars. This is not about showing us all your cars. This is about you putting in the indictment what I'm being charged with, and nobody does a sneak attack on the indictment. Come on now, listen, I went to the community college, but I ain't that slow. Nobody puts a sneak attack on the indictment. If they had proof, and that is why now they're digging for proof for anybody who knows about an alleged minor being violated. We heard all of the so-called rumors, but I'm about to get to it. You heard Gene Deal saying that at the time, and this would be the government smoking, you know what? At the time that he claimed that Usher was violated, Usher was a minor. The government would need that. Why do you think all of a sudden now he walking that thing back? Now all of a sudden he's saying he don't know that for a fact. Somebody who was somebody else told him. You want to know why he doing that? Do you not think the government, I'm going to have to put alleged before it, allegedly came and said, oh, you knew that Usher, when he was underage, got violated by Diddy? That would be their minor right there. Come on, y'all. I want everybody to open up and think about this for a minute. That would be their minor right there, and a person who claimed they knew firsthand. But now he comes back after 7 months. We about to get into that story. And he says he didn't hear it firsthand now. He don't know it firsthand. He heard from somebody else. They need the minors, Tony. They don't have nothing for a fact in regards to a minor at this point. And if they did, they would have put it out there. Now I'm waiting to see what's going to happen tomorrow. If tomorrow's the third bell hearing.
Well, I'll save my comments for Gene Deal for the next segment.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because I have some things to say about him. So I'll just defer right now.
Sounds good. E, you're up.
It sounds to me like what Diddy's lawyer was claiming in the first story. Prosecution is working for the defense. You're helping them build their case because it's a clear railroad. You're putting these people up here. You know that they're lying. You put this hotline out on Facebook. They know how the Black community is. I'm not going to waste any brain cells on this trash.
Thank you, E. I appreciate you. Now listen, I'm gonna roll into this Diddy story real quick. I mean, not Diddy, Gene Deal story. Okay, let's roll into Gene Deal. Gene Deal for months, like Keefy D, for years, Keefy D was on the YouTube bragging about, which I thought was foul in and of itself anyway, bragging about the unaliving of Tupac Shakur. And it caught up to him. And now he's behind bars trying to claim he wasn't telling the truth. He was just telling the story. He just wanted to make money. Honorable money is good money, people. If you need extra money, get yourself a part-time job. Anything you do legit for money, it's a good thing. Don't let anybody ever shame you for what you do, don't have, or whatever the case may be, and don't be connected to things. I'm a shopaholic. I love my clothes, but it's legit shopping. It's legit shopping. Not about to sell myself to the devil so I can get a Gucci bag or drive a Mercedes Benz. She drive the Hyundai. Shout out the Hyundai. That's what Diva drives, okay? But listen, if you drive a Benz or a Rolls Royce or whatever else you drive and you got legit, I ain't mad at you. But all I'm saying to people out there, don't sell yourself to the devil and then later on you wake up and you be like, I want a refund. It don't work that way. Let me get into this Gene Deal story. So let me go. I'm only going to be, you're going to have to go back and you're going to have to play it for yourself because this is other people's work and I can't really play the whole thing, okay? So let me share screen. Now, this was 7 months ago, people. 7 months ago. But this is not the only video on the art of dialogue in which Gene Deal tells this Usher story. This one, it says Diddy groomed Usher. Diddy and Usher situation led to Usher going to the hospital. There's another video where he talks about how Usher mother allegedly got paid to keep her mouth shut about what happened to Usher by the hands of Diddy, right? This is not Diva talking. This is 7 months ago, Gene Deal talking. I'm going to play a snippet, but y'all will have to go back and watch it yourself. But you can watch, there's so many interviews with him talking about this Usher situation and how he knew. I just want to play the part where he says he knew, and then I'm going to play something else for you. So hold on 1 second.
That he had sex with Usher. And when you look at the lawsuit, even though they got Usher name redacted, you could tell who it is because they described him as the guy that performed at the Super Bowl.
Right.
So, I mean, we all know who that is, but how you feel about that, man?
Well, I mentioned that earlier that he said about Stevie J. The Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a certain feeling and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay, and I don't mean to mention other people's platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business, right? I know, and people know.
He said, I know. I know. And people know. Let's continue. This was 7 months ago.
That was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bro, you know I know. Let me reframe you on something. Remember Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff had Kim in the room. Had one of Keith Sweat's baby mothers in in the big room outside the master bedroom. He came outside in his robe. He came outside in his robe. She gave him a fellatio right there. His back was turned to me. She gave him a fellatio. You knocked on the door. I came and opened the door for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that girl dead in her mouth.
I'm going to stop right there. That was several months ago. He said he knew, right? Let me just share screen again. This was 5 days ago, right? Now he backing it. He backing that thing up. Hold on.
Heard it.
Let me go back a bit.
I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time.
Let me back.
Then you heard, you know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And when probably say, yo, man, I don't F with them niggas. Man, I'm getting out that industry and everything like that. You know, Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent him to the hospital? Man, nigga was bleeding from the butt. And that's what was said. But I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time. Then you heard, and that's what happened. And that's just, that's something that you heard. You don't know if it's true. You just heard it. So, and just to hear this and this new thing where they saying that they got kids coming forward and said that he did that, man, that shit is crazy. And like I just said, that's just something that I heard. It's something that I didn't know.
7 months ago, he knew. Now it's just hearsay. It's something he heard. Now, again, I will repeat to y'all, and he didn't know the name. I mean, it's the foolery. It's the straight foolery. But I told you everybody was going to rewrite history. They knew stuff firsthand. Now you don't know it. You didn't know it. You wasn't sure. Now it was hearsay. And later on that video, y'all could go watch it. He said some Harlem execs told him. You knew before, and you told him you knew. Now you don't know nothing. I said that nobody is going to admit, even if they did see it with their own eyes, who do you think is going to now admit that they watched or saw Diddy violate a young person and they said and did nothing? Who do you think is going to admit that, even if they get immunity? Who do you think is going to admit that? Because once they do, the world is going to then look at them as a monster too, because they didn't tell. So everybody is rewriting history. Now, this is just my thought process for sure. If Diddy didn't break in 3 weeks, I don't think he's going to name names. I do not. That's my thought process. Katrina, go ahead and then go around real quick. I'll be right back. But go ahead, Katrina, your thoughts.
I got you. King Deal, all of them are full of crap. You say you saw this happen, and now you say you didn't see this happen. The feds, somebody must have talked to you, and you recanting your story because it's gonna make you look as guilty as Diddy, even though Diddy did the thing, but it's making you look as guilty as well. If y'all knew all this stuff happened to these young kids and these women and everything like that, and you say you seen it, you say you seen them with the alcohol. You say you know that certain things was inside the alcohol, but yet still y'all still let people drunk this.
Katrina, you there?
Yeah, Katrina, you there?
Katrina?
Yeah. So it's just gonna keep going, keep going, keep going. These people are gonna recant on everything they have. And that's all I got to say. Jules, what's your point?
My part is um like Gene Deal. He's like, oh, breaking news on the Diddy front. You know, that's kind of like the vibe he gives me. Oh, let me tell y'all the real. Man, bye. Go count something. Go get hooked on phonics or something. Like you probably were investigated and probably found out that you were going to be facing charges, and now you're recanting your story, but there's video record of it. So no matter how you try to distance yourself, there's video record of it. Hey, in my opinion.
That's right. It's video record of it. Tay, your thoughts?
First, you say it was Usher on that 7 months ago, and now the other video right there. You said you don't know the name. You said the kid name. Which one is it, Gene? It's like you so obsessed with Diddy. Every time somebody say his name, you want to say his name. Like, dude, just what story is it, man? You wasted everybody's time. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you. Tony M, you're up.
All right, Diva. I knew this was going to happen. I think I even referred that to you. Gene Deal goes on YouTube, and this is after Cat Williams. And everybody saw how Cat Williams' interview with Club Shay Shay or Shannon Sharp blew up. Over 50 million views. One of the biggest, I think, record paydays on YouTube. Suddenly you get Gene Deal and you get the conspiracy theorist, Madam Jaguar Wright, all trying to vie for the big paydays on YouTube. I believe that the feds finally knocked on Gene Deal's door. They saw his tape. They saw him admit that he knew Usher had gone to a hospital in Scarsdale, New York, with a torn rectum. They saw that. They knocked on his door. They investigated his employment background as a security guard officer. And prior to that, he was an investigator for Child Protective Services. He had a legal and moral duty to report any hearsay or suspicions of SA, especially on a child, to the local police. He didn't do his job. But if he had information, he has a duty now to give it to the U.S. Attorney's Office or the FBI, whoever knocked on his door. Now he recants his story. I believe he saw what he saw. He didn't think the feds were going to knock on his door until like a week ago. Then when they do knock on his door, he takes to YouTube to recant his story. Gene Deal is trying to make a fast buck like Cat Williams did, or I would say Shannon Sharp did. And I'm going to say the same thing for Jaguar Wright, because just, I think today or yesterday, Piers Morgan had to apologize for what would appear to be defamatory statements against Jay-Z and Beyonce that she keeps spouting off. And these people are muddying the waters. Like you said, Diva, they are doing that. But in Gene Deal's case, I do believe him because he recanted things about Sean Combs that nobody would know about. The story with Ja Rule and Diddy and the dude that tried to get past Gene Deal to go into the private room where those two men were at, and both men came out in towels. He was able to tell that story. He had mentioned something to the effect that Sean Combs liked to go to adult stores, and he liked to buy certain plugs, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but you know, all of that is a so what, right?
I know it's a so what, but he was able to recall that vividly during his employment. Then he talked about Usher, and now he's recanting all that because that's the heart of the matter of this entire case. Was there SA at the hands of Sean Combs towards a minor? To which he said yes, there was, and now he recants. I would say to Gene Deal, get off YouTube, go get a job, or enjoy your retirement. I don't know where his status is at, but he shouldn't be on YouTube trying to make a dime because he's already muddied the waters now. And the same goes for Jaguar Wright. Go get some singing gigs, all right? And because she's been lucky that nobody sued her as of yet. And I'm waiting for the shoe to drop on that one too. It just hasn't happened yet. But I'm disappointed in Gene Deal. I want to say I did believe him, but I also did say to various individuals in private that he had a duty to report if you're doing security work in New York State, assuming that you have your license. You have a duty to report any assault on an adult and especially on a child at all times to the local authorities. And that was not done. And we will never get to the real truth because Usher and I don't think Justin Bieber are ever going to come forward and openly admit what truly happened to them.
If anything allegedly happened to him, right? Because we got to say that because we were not there. So
Right.
Thank you, Tony. 48, thank you for the super chat. That's what I want to know. So nobody is getting charged as an accessory? Nobody? I mean, come on now, right? That's what I want to know. But listen, they may get away with it. Nobody else got charged with R. Kelly. And R. Kelly couldn't read or write. So who was buying these plane tickets? Who was bringing these girls? Who was booking the hotels? Nobody? Stop with this. Nobody else is getting charged. Shirley, thank you for the super chat. Government can add and supersede an indictment, which can override the original, can add other defendants and charges and further investigations. New grand jury. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. But
That is correct.
my issue with them is, so that is a fact, Shirley. Thank you for your super chat and the information. My issue with them is you took 8 months. You took 8 months. You said all of this. You should have had some other people and some more stuff for us. But you are correct. They can absolutely do whatever the heck they want to do. You're up.
All right. So I am interpreting this differently. I didn't hear any changing of the story. When Gene mentioned he knew Usher was being quote unquote groomed, he specifically attached that claim to the story at the Swiss Hotel and Diddy and Usher girl swapping. He was specific. He never provided any specifics regarding the hospital story. The verbiage that he used was, "I'll let Usher tell that story."
So hold on, Eve. Let me just add to this. Then you got to go back. I couldn't show all of that stuff because it's the art of dialogue's work. That was one of many. There are several other videos that he expands on that story. He talks about how Usher's mother got paid off. He talks as for fact. he knew the story firsthand. He is now walking it back and coming back, and you need to go to the Art of Dialogue's work where he's talking about Usher. He's now walking it back and saying execs, Harlem execs told him the story. He didn't even know the kid's name at the time. So no, he is clearly changing the wording, the story, and he's walking it back. He said he knew for a fact that Usher mother got paid off, and that is why she never told the story. And she got paid off, and he knew that this is what happened to Usher. So yes, he clearly walked back the story and changed the words. Go ahead.
Well, if somebody tells me something and I believe them, then I could say I know it for a fact too. Um, I don't know. I need to go back and really listen to what he's saying because I didn't catch it. But you know, I'm going to say this. Gene was doing what they all do, breadcrumbing us with the information. But to me, it does not make him unbelievable. I still believe the story. I think Gene is an older man, and when he tells his story, he's trying to remember sometimes, and you get mixed up when you tell a story for the 99th time. I don't know if it's happened to anybody else, but sometimes it's happened to me. You get mixed up sometimes with the details. And I don't care if a few details are mixed up as long as the meat and potatoes of Diddy and Usher hunching allegedly remains the same. Sean said out of his own mouth on film, Kevin Hart was there, that he and Usher were waking up together and fighting over the Captain Crunch or the Cheerios, whatever it was. I have the video on my phone. He said that. Diddy was in his 20s. Usher was 14. What do you think Sean meant when he said he remembered waking up with Usher, who was a teenage boy and Sean is a grown man? How do they wake up together? It's things like that that make you go, And, you know, I really... I took exception earlier. I think it was that, you know, folks have the right to, you know, tell their own story and, you know, we have to keep quiet about Usher. You know, I think it was even said, you know, we have to, you know, it's not right to speak about Usher's violation. If that's truly what happened, I say folks need to keep on speaking up about it and talk a little bit louder. Usher, Chris Brown, Trey Songz is all the same. And remember, Usher was just in Valley with Russell Simmons. Usher surrounds himself with predators and then parties amongst them with a smile and proceeds to two-step. He's comfortable within these environments, and he hides under the guise of being attracted to older women. But the truth of the matter is, Usher loves to be dominated. We have to read between the lines. He's submissive and bratty, and he has a snotty attitude towards women when he does not get his way. This is what I have observed with my own two eyes. You're not going to convince me that Usher is some victim all of a sudden. And this is not diva talking. I speak for me. I'm not into coddling grown men, and specifically ones who went around and infected unsuspecting people with crabs and genital warts. You better check the court documents. Usher is 45 years old, and as a public figure who has profited from walking out in public and willfully pulling his pants down and walking around in public in his underwear. Anything people say about you and your sex life is fair game. This is what you sell. In the late 90s, Usher would frequently walk out in public and pull down his pants. It's public record, it's photographic proof, and there are magazines who did articles on it, on these stunts. And, you know, if he has any problem with it, go file a claim against People Magazine and Vibe, because Usher did that. And when someone recently asked Usher about what happened at Diddy camp, I think it was Howard Stern, Usher replied, he said, I'm going to save some stuff for my book. He's an opportunist. He knows what's going on in the environment, and he's keeping the story in his back pocket for a rainy day. But what Usher doesn't understand is it's raining right now. Listen, I'm not buying an Usher book, and I wouldn't be surprised if his ticket sales began to decline, because I've been watching Usher's comment section, and the people have been tearing him up in his comments about Justin Bieber. People don't like it. People think that he's in on it, and I am a part of some of those people, and people do not see him favorably right now, and rightfully so. The only way out of this situation is for Jonetta to come out and say something. His mom needs to address it. this happened on her watch, allegedly. And it's been too much talk about it for her to be so silent. This is not typical of Jonetta to be so mums when it comes to this type of information. Remember, you couldn't pay Jonetta to keep her mouth closed when Usher and Tamika were divorcing, and Usher was taking that lady's kids away. 1 month before the older son passed away, Jonetta had too much to say about that, but now everything is hush-hush, and we don't want to talk about it. No, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk a little bit louder than this.
Thank you, E. In my opinion, your thoughts?
Well, hi everybody.
Hey.
You looking good, Diva.
Oh, I miss you. Thank you.
Oh, I miss you too, girl. Listen here. Okay, so Gene Deere is doing the Dum Dum Diddy. Okay, and when I say doing the Dum Dum Diddy, he's spouting all this stuff. That he knew. You know what I'm saying? Even to the point where he knew Sean was beating up women. Okay, he did nothing. He didn't protect nobody. He even said he saw Diddy slap his mama. He didn't do nothing. He never did nothing. So for me, he's a piece of trash too, and they should lock his behind up. But the reason why he's backpedaling the way he is because they done already told him, if we find out you were there, we're gonna take you down, because he's not protected by nobody. So now he's backpedaling. But the same thing that happened to old Dum Dum Diddy in Vegas is gonna happen to him. Just wait and see. You're gonna see him clanked up too.
Thank you, in my opinion. Felicia, you're in the building. Any thoughts? Anything you want to say?
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
It's good to be listening. Prayers for the folks in North Carolina and down there in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
The last 10 days, I haven't really had much to say. I just keep listening. And then my girl E come up here and she reminds me why I got to keep listening. I thought the question was something about Gene Deal and what he said and didn't say, what he inferred and what he didn't infer, what he knows and what he don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there go E talking about Usher. Well, wait a minute now. Usher didn't speak on any of this. As far as I know, he hasn't confirmed or denied.
Not a word.
He's going on and living his life. But we seem to have a problem with that. And when I say we, I mean Black people. We always into our feelings and not the facts. Just stay in our feelings. And I'm just saying, can we get to the facts? Can we get to what is true? Can we bring about change, real change? Now we're entering into a holiday season here. And I want to see all these people into their feelings and some folks who are about the facts. If you're going to have a seat at the table for your family predator, or you're going to have a seat at the Thanksgiving table for the uncle, the aunt, the cousin, the neighbor, that you know is a violator, that you know is a predator, that may have done harm to you, and you know, that's where we can bring about change.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to Usher, or didn't happen, or what happened, just whatever. Let them speak for themselves. You want to get loud about the changes you're making in your own home, in your own family, in your own neighborhood. I encourage people, put your zip code in and see how many SA people are in your community. And be mindful. Protect your children. Protect your neighbors. There's a lot of feelings going on around here. And we need to get to the facts. I've been waiting patiently for 9, 10, 12 days maybe at this point for these 120 people. Sounds almost like a biblical saying. 120 people came forward. We're still waiting on a civil complaint. We're still waiting for a criminal complaint.
For the 9-year-old.
Oh, yes, yeah. The 9-year-old has to wait. Yeah, that they have to wait because all this other stuff is happening. We're vetting this one and vetting that one. Yes, I believe that things happened that were immoral and illegal. And yes, I seek the kind of justice for when people have been done wrong. But I'm not going to get up in my feelings and determine that because this is how I feel, so-and-so should not get due process.
Come on now.
That they should not get the best lawyers that they can afford.
You better talk.
So as far as I'm concerned, I'm listening and I'm watching, I'm paying attention. And as we move into this holiday season, and I'm talking about all the holidays, is your door open to that known predator? Are you going to have a seat at the table with a known predator? Are you going to say, so-and-so, I can't come this year because you continue to invite such and such, and I will not be complicit? You want to get loud about that. Change what's happening in your backyard, in your home, in your community. When Usher's ready, what you say, he got in his back pocket, maybe by then, Diva will still be buying books.
You messy. Well, go ahead. You know I will buy it. Come on, talk.
And even when they get pulled from the Amazon, she'll find it.
Come on now. Let's talk. Listen.
And maybe then we'll still be up here and she'll read it to all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Diva.
I appreciate
Diva.
Yes.
I want to chime in on that because, in order for us to get to the truth, we have to tell Usher and his mom to tell the truth. I don't have any predators at my dining room table, thankfully, but this is public news. It's under scrutiny. And it's up to the people to make a decision, especially as people who have put money into these people's pockets. I can only speak for me. But when I was in elementary school, I listened to Usher, and I have a few of his old CDs. And for that reason, I'm saying that to say feelings are good. It's good to have feelings, and people's feelings get a little irritated when people who they have grown up to, they watch them on television and sit back and play in our face and shoo it away. Oh, I got to have something to put in my book. Well, that does get me in my feelings because you're playing in people's face and you play in the company of predators. And as for people who Usher sang to since they were in elementary school, which would be me, his music has been a soundtrack in many of our lives. And you don't get to manipulate the public and profit and market to us based on emotions. And then when something happens, oh, no, I'm going to put it in my book. No, you have profited from putting people in their feelings. And so now when the feelings are unfavorable, you got to pick up the shovel and deal with that too.
Well, let me say this. If we were to discount all the music of a predator and everything that a predator might have created, we'd probably be living outside on our grass.
Well, don't threaten me with a good time because I've told you, I turn off the music and go listen to the covers on YouTube. I'm the first one to say I'll delete all your music off my computer. I don't play that.
Well, I'm just saying, but forget about the music. I'm talking about we may have to shut off our lights, not use our refrigerator, not turn on our gas or electric stoves. We got to be clear here. There are so many people, and just because they didn't get caught, are we only concerned with when they get caught? That's when we will back away, right? So if that's the case, if only when their stuff becomes public will we back away, or when the person gets caught, then that's all of what Diddy's friends and everybody else around him are doing. Like I said, and we'll go back to and continue to go back to, when you see the video that Stevie J shared with us of the 50th birthday party, which was only 4 years ago, but they claim this Diddy stuff has been going on since the 90s. Everybody who was anybody was at Diddy's 50th birthday party. And they knew way before we knew all of the rumors about Diddy. And why do we know that? Because now all of them, I can't say all, let me back that up. A lot of them are on YouTube claiming that they knew about that. They never went to a Diddy party, or if they was there, they left before the after party. They didn't want nothing to do with Diddy. But all of them, before all of it came out to be public, wanted an invitation to his party. All I'm saying with the Usher story is, if he has a story to tell, I think it should be his story to tell. He should tell it. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people let me add this to it. Unfortunately, so many people get violated, and I'm talking about even non-celebrities. So many people get violated at a young age, and was so unfortunate about that. There's rarely a middle ground. Some go all the way to the left, some go all the way to the right. All the way to the right is they can't even have no intimate relationship or good relationships with anybody because they end up disliking intimacy. And then some go far, far left where they become very promiscuous, and then, you know, some may take it up to another level, and then others may violate because they have been violated. So this thing is deeper than, oh, he just hung around predators. Unfortunately, if what is being said is true, unfortunately, he was groomed into that thing, and maybe he didn't go as far left as Diddy, but he went a little left. I also said this about the freak offs early on. I said there was no way possible that there wasn't some ODs, there wasn't some unwanted pregnancies, and there wasn't a whole bunch of STDs going around and flying around. When I heard the backstory of what actually happened to Craig Mack, and you know how he really died, it just tells me that those situations were in existence early on. Listen, there is an alleged S worker who claimed that they got the package of herpes from Diddy and allegedly Cassie. Okay, but my thing is that I'm not going to 100% crush any of these other individuals, because right now every story is leading off a story, and it's an alleged story of what might have happened, could have happened, should have happened, so forth and so on. Usher has a story to tell. He needs to tell his story. I saw the interview that you're talking about when he was saying that he's not going to tell all of his Diddy stories and what happened, but he's not the only one that's saying he's not going to tell what happened at Diddy house, because Ashton Kutcher, who's a grown man, also sat in an interview and said, oh, I got some Diddy stories, but he was like, oh, I can't tell that one. I can't tell this one. I can't tell that one. So what do I interpret that as, right? Because there's many people that will tell you they're not going to tell you much about what happened at the Diddy alleged quote unquote after party. All I can say is this, that there's a lot of people outside of Usher whose hands are not clean. Everybody is rewriting history, and when they rewrite it, they're an angel. They're a complete angel. Dawn Richard, she rewrote history, and in her rewriting it, she was an angel. She tried to say Cassie, she tried to say some other grown woman, but when she saw the busload, and she said out her own mouth in her lawsuit, it was a busload of girls that, or no, she didn't just say girls, of people that appeared underage, right? Get off, and they were scantily dressed. Then they came into this house, this FO party, and they got violated, but she went and hid herself in the room. So she was brave enough to try to save two grown adults. But when she saw the people that appeared underage, she didn't try to save not near one of them. She went and blocked herself in the room. So a monster who is into violating people, shoving substances down their throat and taking advantage of them, they allowed her to go hide herself in the room while they violated everybody else. I mean, it's the nonsense for me. But anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all for being here. If you know the routine, if you didn't hit the like button coming in, hit the like button on the way out. Now, tomorrow, Tay, did I skip you? I see you came off of mute.
Oh, no, man. You go ahead, Diva.
Okay. So if you didn't hit the like button on the way in, hit it on the way out. Apparently, the third bail hearing is coming up tomorrow. You know, if it comes up, we're going to talk about it. We're going to deal with it. I just say this case is already a whole complete circus. Thalia Graves is not helping the circus. Gene Deal is not helping the circus. Time will tell. If these things allegedly happened to Usher and Justin Bieber, and if they want to and do speak up, if something had happened to them, then that will be what the government needs, because they're looking for these minors. But my thing is, if they're so 10 toes down that these things happen to minors on a regular basis, they need to bring them forth. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hit the like button. See you on the next video. Good night and goodbye, everybody.
Do that to the